Welcome everybody. Give people a second, get some more people in here. Lots of fun updates for today. All right. Welcome everyone to Stammer AI Office Hours. Got a good amount of stuff to review today. We're going to go over some of the updates that we pushed last week, review some of those items, explain some of them. We're going to touch on some of the features that we're working on this week that will be out hopefully by next week. And then of course we'll have our general Q&A session at the end of the call here. Of course, I always like to start this off, especially for everyone watching on YouTube. Our YouTube audience is growing, so be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find all of our updates and everything that we're pushing to the platform, like bug fixes and new features and improvements to the platform, all in our changelog roadmap.stammer.ai. You can also view our public roadmap, which we were updating last week to review some of the items that people are most wanting or the most upvoted items. Anybody can add items to this roadmap, which is really cool. And of course, our changelog information is also accessible for everyone as well. Of course, I always like to mention our documentation as well, docs.stammer.ai. This is where you can get all of our tutorials and examples. Everything that you need to know about the platform will be in our documentation. Cool. All right, so and of course, if you guys have any questions about any of the items that I'm talking about today, please feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get to it in a timely manner here. All right, so the items that we pushed out last week. So these are items that are currently live. The first one is we finally got out our first version of the analytics view. So this is now available inside every AI agent under the analytics tab here. This is going to showcase the total conversations, responses per conversation, leads and appointments scheduled, as well as showing where the information is coming from, whether it's via the chat widget or the API or master chat, and of course, wherever those chats are occurring around the world, which is pretty cool. This is like I said, the first version of it. So when I have an updated view of how we're trying to position this feature for agencies, for you guys as well. So this will be continued to be improved on, especially as we get everyone's feedback on this new topic. Moving right along, we've got an addition to the API. So this allows you to now have a human handoff while utilizing the API. This is a bit more technical. So if you need help, please reach out to us and we can help you get this set up. Essentially, this is allowing for live chat to be done through the API. So for those of us that are using the API to have our AI agents chat with different channels, this is how you could set that up. We've also got some other additions and new features on top for existing channels, like the meta channels, where it now supports rendering images, as well as being able to give information about those pieces of images inside of the chat. We've also added a toggle for scraping Google Documents specifically. Before this was working if you had a public document that you published, but now there is a better way to do it. So we enabled this scraping of the Google Docs inside the advanced scraper there. Really, really simple, but very, very good update for everyone that's using Google Docs. And then a couple other bug fixes and improvements. Most of these things are quality of life improvements and just feedback from customers that we're getting on a daily basis. So if you guys have any ideas on how things could be improved, please feel free to let us know, as we definitely take all that information into consideration when we are building out our platform here. So that's everything that went out last week. And now just for a quick overview of what's going to be coming out next week. So we have been working on Master Chat. We're loving all the feedback. Everyone's been using Master Chat quite a bit, which is great, and giving us feedback. One of the early items that we knew that we had to get out, but we were wanting to make sure it worked perfectly, was this concept of vision, file, and file upload. So in normal ChatGPT conversations, you can add screenshots and upload files and ask the AI agent a question about those files, and obviously it will be able to do anything with that information. This is now functionality that we've built into Master Chat that will be coming out in the next week or so. This allows you to upload images or documents or even like CSV spreadsheets, and then it will be able to summarize or understand the information to then follow your prompt instructions as needed. And what's cool is if you're doing this with code blocks or files that are code that has been generated, it also works with these examples as well. So for the wide variety of use cases that are out there right now, this will be a great addition. This is something that I've been looking forward for a while. So super excited about this for myself, but also excited to get this out for everyone else as well. Joshua asks, are images coming to other interfaces as well, or just Master Chat? They will be coming to all available places. So to start, it will be Master Chat and the chat widget. And then just like the update that we did with the API for Master Chat, we'll look into how we can like cross transfer that information over through the API as well. And this kind of goes along with some of the other additional API updates that we've added. These were added about 2 weeks ago or so. There is a bunch of new API endpoints for everyone that's using this information. We are constantly evolving and updating and improving these APIs as people give us more feedback. So just to just to reiterate again, if you guys are using the API, let us know if there's any other endpoints that you need or updates that you think would help solve your use case a little bit further. So this master chat update with vision and file upload and code formatting. This should be out next week with another myriad of updates and things. And of course, we'll have a full blog post and changelog update that goes out with that as well. One of those items is going to be a update to the custom functions builder. This is something that our advanced users on full SaaS mode have been taking to the next level, honestly. I've never thought of how people would be utilizing this, but it's really cool to see. Essentially, for those of us that might not be familiar, custom functions is a way to extend the functionality of your AI agent to do and take actions on its own, on your behalf, essentially. So some examples from this in the past that we've created, and there's a lot of examples here under custom functions. The example that I always like to showcase is how you can create an AI agent that is connected to private data behind a Shopify store. So for example, if you wanted to create an AI agent that can pull down product availability or help users figure out where their product is through their tracking and shipping information, things like that. That data cannot be scraped per se by the website scraper. So we have to create some sort of way to have the AI agent talk with the Shopify store and do it in a way that's secure. So that way data is not being mishandled in any way. And typically that's done through third-party code or through some sort of API connection. And so what I'm showing you here right now is this will allow you to create custom functions without the expressed need for third-party code. And this is going to be a really huge advantage to a lot of people that are building these integrations because it actually removes the need for something like Replit or having to have third-party Python code that then runs that runs this function. So the examples that we're going to be providing are going to be relatively simple, but it provides this kind of view into how you could create custom functions for your own AI agents in a very simple way. So the cool thing about this is we're going to have the ability for you to add in normal authentication. And if this looks a little confusing to you, not to worry, we're going to have tons of tutorials and examples on what all this stuff means and how you can fill it out and what might be needed for your example. There's one here that we've used quite a bit in our testing. And the idea here is to be able to pull contact data from a CRM. So that way, when the AI agent is talking with a user, let's say on Instagram, they could pull down all the information about that user, so that the AI agent has context about who they're talking to that that person didn't express, like they didn't give that information in the conversation. In this format allows us to simply enter in the right keys and it formats everything in the right way. So that way you as a user just have to click test or save and it should just work out of the box. We're building in some advanced slash basic views of this as well. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot of examples and tutorials for this, but for the power users who are trying to build the future of AI agents and connecting stuff to different third-party platforms, this is going to be a massive, massive win for all of us doing that type of stuff. So, really excited to get this one out. Again, this should be out within the next week or so. So really looking forward to that and getting your guys' feedback on that. We have one that some people mentioned in office hours, I believe last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, with our human handoff and live chat solution. Right now, human handoff allows the AI agent to stop responding. It then sends a notification to someone, and then that user can then log into Stammer and then take the conversation over from the AI agent and talk with the user directly themselves. This now has the ability to be scheduled. So instead of it happening 24/7, you can schedule this depending on when you want human agents to be available and so forth. So very simple scheduling feature that allows you to set different times of the day, but this will allow you to have the scheduling feature for human handoff. So this is a feature that was, I think, recommended by someone in office hours. So like I said, we definitely really take into account what you guys are telling us on these calls because it really helps direct our development. I'm ripping through these right now, but I'm hoping if you guys have any questions, just please feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get to the QA session here in a little bit. This is going to be the update view of agency analytics. So people have been asking, how do we figure out, how much a sub account is using or a specific AI agent? This will allow you to filter by the different sub accounts that you have in your account and correspondingly the AI agents that are in that specific sub account. You can do all, you can do none. So this will give you full control over how you want to view your analytics based on the date as well as the data that you'd like to see. So this will give you, and this is something that agencies will see. The sub account view of this will be slightly different, but very similar. But the idea here is just to give you how many conversations, messages, average messages, leads, and scheduled appointments scheduled across your entire account, but also to the specific account and specific AI agent as well. So you don't need to go in and log into a sub account or deal with any of that. This should greatly speed up that ability. And of course, you can export all the data. And we're currently working on the ability to pull in data from OpenAI. So everyone that's using the OpenAI API, this will allow you to see the amount of input and output tokens per messages. We're still working on this graph, so there might not be this nice looking graph, but the goal here is to show and give you guys the exact data of what you are spending per message, per model. So that way you can better figure out how to price your messages and your services to your clients. For right now, we've always recommended to follow our pricing model. So if you're using the API and, for example, using ChatGPT 4.0, we recommend to charge I believe it's 1 cent per message, and that should give you a fairly decent margin on top of the cost from OpenAI's API. Cool. So that's going to be analytics. And then finally, this is just not anything relatively new, but redesigning and updating our SaaS configurator. It has all of the same functionality. It is just designed a little bit better to always show a preview of what your package will look like. This one is in progress as well. So this one won't be out for like a week or two, but the cool thing about this is as more and more people use Master Chat and want to provide specific agents in their subscription plans, we're going to allow that to be enabled. So this goes along with our marketplace update where you can add AI agents into your marketplace. You'll now be able to add those into specific subscription plans. So that way, when one of your customers purchases a subscription plan, that agent that you have selected in here will automatically be cloned into their account using all of the settings that you've added to the marketplace. So from a functionality point of view, it's going to be very, very similar, but now you have the ability to add in template agents as well. All right, so covered quite a bit of information here, but I think this is a good way to show people what's coming down the pipeline on our roadmap in more of the immediate updates. Of course, we're as we've mentioned in the last couple office hours, we're continuously working on our voice agents. We've made some good progress on working with Twilio and getting those phone numbers engaged, existing phone numbers engaged. So we're working on furthering that as well, and should have more updates and live previews for you guys in the next couple weeks. Tim, Drew, anything you'd like to add on that?
No, I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, all good on my end as well.
Cool. Kasoon asks, got a message during test token limit exceeded. How do we prevent this from being exposed to users? That's an interesting one. Tim, do you have an idea on that one?
Yeah, that's the error whenever you've sent too many tokens, essentially, too much tax to the agent. It's possible you're using the model that we restrict that on, so you can try switching to one of the newer models, and maybe you will not get that message.
Ah,
Or open a ticket and we can investigate.
yeah, I believe that was on that. Yeah, that's like on the very old models, right?
Yeah.
The 3.5 and 4 turbo, I believe. But we always recommend in general for everyone to use the latest available model, and we're going to have updates with next week's release. We should have Anthropic, Claude, and Grok as alternative models as well. So there will be multiple different options for you guys to engage there. Jesse asks, is it going on the roadmap to clone from a sub account to an agency account? Yep, we got that added to the roadmap. Don't have a mock-up or anything for that one yet, but yep, that is on the roadmap. And he says, I noticed that the 2025 plan mentions more white label customizations. Does this include the ability to fully white label the dashboard for sub accounts, like rearranging elements, renaming sections, and customizing the overall layout to make it feel like it's more a native part of our own platform? Somewhat. The ability to rename sections, we've already started implementing that. Rearranging elements, probably not initially. The comparable to this would be something like how GHL allows you to customize the platform with like CSS and things like that, but that's not something that we've actively engaged with quite yet. What other support is available to new white label agencies before they are able to ramp up? I have paid for more onboarding and happy to pay again, but I do need help. We are just about to launch a Thursday accelerator, basically. So we used to do this maybe like 6 to 8 months ago, where we had our Tuesday office hours, but then we also had our Thursday AI agency accelerator calls, and we're bringing that back. So Tim will be hosting these on Thursdays, same time. There will be a different link that we'll send out we'll have an email when we send out the email recapping today's office hours. There will be a link available, as well as we're going to post it in Discord and everything like that. But essentially, these Thursday calls will be more about the strategy regarding how to sell and manage and grow your agency rather than the specifics of platform updates and things like that. So, strategies, guides, tutorials on how some other agencies, and we're trying to tap some of our more successful agencies to help come in as like a guest and provide some insights on how they're selling this and utilizing. Josh says, maybe this is already possible. Are there plans to make it possible for agents in the marketplace to already have custom functions? Yep. There's a toggle there where you can enable that and share that data over. I saw a recent support response that the advanced knowledge base feature is currently in beta and being tested. Could you share a bit more detail about what's planned for the advanced KB, like what new capabilities it will include compared to the current setup? So the new KB is pretty much exclusively for people that are building AI agents with a knowledge base in another language. So if you're in using something other than English, we've been switching people over to this quote unquote advanced KB or advanced knowledge base. It's the exact same, but for whatever reason, knowledge bases that are in different languages, it has some trouble with that. So we've been manually switching people over to that. It will not be something that is like pushed for everyone at the beginning. So that's something to note. Peter says, is there a problem in scraping HTTP? There shouldn't, but maybe try the advanced or not and see if that does it. Is there a way to have a telephone backup? Are you talking about like a different way to log in? Maybe support, like telephone support. The closest thing that we would have to that would be Discord. We had customers find my phone number and were hitting me up last week, which is not something that is good per se. But yeah, Discord would be the quickest way to get in contact with us, or you can DM us, DM me on Instagram. The the fastest way to get any issue resolved is to submit a ticket, because we have to be able to find the exact information about your account and your example or use case of what you're trying to accomplish. So, yeah, cool. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Right on. Thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.
Likewise.